For today's activity, we're going to be making Galaxies from coffee filters and make them into mobiles. So first, you're going to need a blank coffee filter. You can flatten it out like this. Make sure you can color on it. I've already pre-colored one to show you what they might look like when you're done. It might look something like this, where you can kind of just draw some squiggly lines on it, so that way when you drop the water onto this, the colors bleed nice and you can get a nice colorful surface for your galaxies. After you have kind of filled this out, what you're going to need to do is put something underneath your coffee filter that you've colored on. Paper towel or another towel will work. Get a glass of water with your pipette, and then you're going to fill up the pipette and drip some water onto this. You're going to want to cover all of the colors on here, make sure that they bleed into each other and kind of fill up a good chunk of the coffee filter. Once you've covered the whole coffee filter in water and use your pipette and the colors are bleeding, you're just going to set it in the sun to dry, or on a windowsill or anywhere that it can just dry. It shouldn't take too long. I'm going to move this one aside and let this one dry so I can do this myself later and show you guys a finished one that might look something like this. And you can take your paper plate that's been hole punched for you and color it. I colored mine blue. If you have a black marker or black crayon, that would also work. And you're going to need to tie them into the holes there. I already tied 2 on mine, so I'm going to tie on the last one so you can watch me do it. You feed it through the back side of the paper plate, side that's not colored, and then tie it together here. Once you've tied all 3 pieces together, to the paper plate, you're going to tie them all together to each other. This will be able to let it hang. So the easiest way that I find to do this is to tie 2 of them together first, like so, and then tie the third one to those 2. Just like that, and then it will hang, as you can see, they kind of tent up in the middle. We'll go back to our coffee filters. You should have 2 sheets that look something like this with different shapes of galaxies on them. I already cut some of my shapes out, and I'll cut out another one. What I like to do is kind of cut them out on top of my black construction paper, so that way I have a nice place to put the galaxy once I've cut it all the way out and trace it onto my coffee filter. I'll cut out these last 2 as well. The easiest way to cut these out is to take the white piece that has the galaxy on it and place it underneath your coffee filter. And you can kind of see that your coffee filter is a little translucent, so you can see the galaxy through the other side. And what I did is trace out the shape of the galaxy on the coffee filter, so I know where I'm cutting. The galaxies can be a bit tricky to cut out because they are kind of thin in some spots. So just do your best. All galaxies look a little different, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Everybody's colors are also going to be different. So there's one, and then once I'm done cutting it out, I just take the cutout piece and flip it over, and you can't really see the marker drawing there. So we'll cut this one out. You want to make a lot of these too. There's a lot of different shapes that you can choose from for galaxies. You have about 12 to choose from, and you can pick any of them. Once you've kind of cut it out and it looks sort of like a galaxy shape, you might have to cut off a couple little other pieces like I do here, kind of get that shape a little more. You should have something that looks slightly like the shape that you traced onto it. And then you'll take your black piece of paper that you also cut out and tape the galaxy onto that piece of paper. You can also glue it on there if you'd like. And then you just flip it over and tape it down right on there like that. After you have a handful of galaxies cut out from your coffee filter, you're going to bring your paper plate back and you're going to keep it on this side this time, on the side that you colored. Take a piece of string, one of the black pieces of string, and place a piece of tape on one end of it, and tape that to the back side of your black piece of paper. You'll take another piece of tape and put it on the other end of the string and tape that to your paper plate, just like so. And then they will hang down. You can tape them in different ways, so maybe some sit like that and other directions. I'll tape another one on there so you guys can see it again. Take a piece of string. You can cut the string in any length that you want for this part. Tape it to the back. Take another piece and tape it there. And then tape that whole thing onto your paper plate at a random spot that you like. And then you are all done.